everybody. I'm Joe Evans.
And I'm Chris Yee.
And today we are taking a look at a game that can only be described as adorable. Do you agree, Chris?
Yes, I do.
It is very adorable. And this is...
A lot of doors in this game.
A lot of doors.
And they're very able doors.
They're very... able to. This is Trinket Trove. So pretty much you are playing a group of mice that are just trying to decorate their house with little things they find around the house.
Trinkets, if you will.
And then they can trade with other mice. Mices. Moose.
Moosin.
Moosin. So we're going to tell you about all these moosin, but first let's see how it's played. Okay, so we are set up for a game of Trinket Trove right here. Trinket Trove is a drafting and set collection style game. It's pretty simple. I'm going to go through exactly how to play. So first off, it's going to take place over a series of 6 rounds, and that is told here by the timer cards. So these will be added every round, so you can kind of see as the rounds progress, the closer you get to the end. First off, we'll look through these cards. You're going to notice they're all different here. And they all have a set collection value in here. Of course, if you have 1 bottle cap, it's worth 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, and then 50 goes up to 50 and 90. Same with marbles. You see they go up the more you have. And then you've got bottle caps again, the gears. You get 3, you get 55. And then mirrors here. Flip that around. Mirrors are the only wild, so they can be added to any set. So pretty much a set collection. You're going to get different values depending on how many you have. So first off, everyone is going to go ahead and change and pick a character. We've got 4 characters here. We're playing a 4-player game. Everyone's also going to get 4 cards. And from that, they're going to kind of look and try to decide where they're going to go. All right. So first off, you're going to do the flop here because there's 4 different players here. We're going to drop 4 cards. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like this. Wow, that's not a good draw. Let's go ahead and change that up a bit. All right, there we go. So that is 4. And then you're going to add 1 of the timer cards to the first one right here. So we've got this lot here is going to have 2 cards, and then you've got a gear, marble, and a lure. Everyone's going to look through their cards, and they're going to bid on order which they're going to take these. At the end of this round, you're going to get 2 lots, depending on where you are in the turn order. So first off, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our cards here. These are the ones I have, and place our bid. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead. I will bid 1 key right here. So pinfold right here, that is me. I'm going to go ahead and bid a key. Someone else is going to bid. And they have a shell. Take a look at that. Now, you're going to look at who is first, who is bidding the most. First, you look at number of cards. There are 2. Each of these have 1 card. 2 people with 1 card. Then you're going to say whoever's the latest. Oh, you also get value. If number of cards are the same, then value, it's 4 to 4. Still there. And if it's a tie, the later person goes first. So, old pinfold is going to be pushed down here. And just like that. So the next person wants to bid, and they say they want to bid 2 right here. So immediately they win this because they have 2 cards. It slides down, place this, and Templeton is that. Now finally, Wander here. Wander wants to bid 2 and say they want to bid 0. They don't want to bid anything. They don't mind going last. So if they do that, they're going to say they're going to bid 0. Just grab 1 from the top of the deck. Flip it over. Look at that. It's wild. And then flip it over for 0 because they did go last. Now, this is now our order that we're going to draw things. So everybody drops down just like this. And now you get to go in this order, and everybody gets 2 lots with this caveat. You cannot get the lot that you bid. For example, Templeton cannot just go ahead and pick these back up. So he is not able to get these. So say Templeton's going to go ahead and grab, let's see here, he wants to do this. And this lot right here, 2. Goes to Templeton. Next, Gouda is going to grab 2. They're going to grab this one. And of course, Gouda cannot grab this because he did bid it. There we go. And Pinfold is going to grab here and here. And then finally, Wander. Well, wait a minute. Wander, this is the one that was underneath Wander at first. Now, obviously, this wild would be taken. But if you're the last one left, then of course, that's the only one you can take. So you can take that. And there we go. And then it's put away. So then you've got that order to go ahead and do this again. And then at the end of the game, all you're going to do is you're going to look at all of your cards at the end of these 6 rounds. You're going to look at all these cards, you're going to put them together into sets, and you're going to count up how many points you have, and whoever has the most points is the winner. So that's a quick and dirty, not all the rules, but that's a quick feel of the game. Let's send it back and see what we thought about it. Okay, so that's pretty much, again, all the rules, but pretty much because it's a pretty simple, straightforward game.
It is. I think slightly elevated by Sundara Tang's artwork, so the same artist who did Flamecraft.
Yes.
With a little different style, which I appreciate, but still very cutesy, adorable, as we alluded to at the beginning.
And you can really tell when looking through not only the cover, but the rule book, the cards, everything. It has that feel to it.
Yeah, and it's a nice amount of variety. There's a huge deck of cards. It's pretty stacked.
It is. And I like how, now obviously it's drafting a set collection, right? Mm-hmm. It's pretty straightforward, but it has some interesting decisions that go into it.
I'm going to make a little comparison. I don't know if you've played this game or not.
Okay.
Reiner Knizia's game Money is an auction game where you're collecting cards, and the cards that you collect also become currency that you can spend for turn order in an auction. And then you draft cards on the table. This actually has quite a few similarities to it while still feeling distinct. But I think that anyone who, if you looked at the overview and if you've played Money, you say, oh, that sounds familiar, I don't think that you're far off. If you've not played it, I think both games are good and do a good job of standing a little bit separate. I'm not by any means saying this is just the same thing as that.
Right. That's one thing that I find interesting in most of these, I don't know how money does with it, is the number of cards in those sets. Like if you need 8, are there only 8 in the deck? And I was happy to find out that is not the case.
That's true. No. So Money has static amounts of each different suit, and they're all different, like international currencies. That's about where I'll end the comparisons. But yeah, because I like the point you're getting at here. This suit, 2 of them is a complete set. There's 4 of that card in the deck. This one needs 7. There's 14 of them. So it's not like as soon as you start chasing something and someone else takes a few, that you just go, oh man, no, there's still hope for you.
Yeah, that's true, because hypothetically you both could do it.
Right.
It's not going to happen, though.
You won't.
I think what I do like about this is the fact that you are bidding, and if you really want to go first, you can, because there were several times I just used, I think mine were lures as throwaway cards. I'm just going to dump these. I'm not going to collect those. I'm going to dump them out there. I'm going to get first so I can go ahead and get gears or whatever. And then at the end, I was killed by lures.
Right. Someone collected all 7 of them, had 135 points in just one suit, and you go, Chris, you shouldn't have thrown out so many lures.
It was, you and I both were like, woof. I did not think someone would get that much. And I like those decisions. I also like when you don't bid anything. It kind of gets exciting flipping over that top card that adds something else into the mix.
It's a nice way that it adds new, like you said, new stuff into the mix. There's a couple of very good rules. Whatever you bid, cards that you use to bid in turn order, you can't take those cards yourself.
I like that.
I think that's good. It's a few extra little rules, but I think that it's one of those cases where the juice is worth that squeeze to remind people, don't take your own auction card back unless you're the last person, you're stuck with it.
Right.
I think that's nice. But yeah, that 0 bid, knowing you're just shooting right to the end, but you might flip over a card that someone else is really hoping for, which stinks, that feeling. But that means that they're going to leave something else for you.
That's where it is.
Yeah.
And then if you're the last person, you may actually get that card if you really are the last person to take it. But I find it interesting. Now, who do you think this is for? Do you think this is a family-weight game or gamer-wise?
It resides nicely in between.
I agree.
Right, where you can bid yourself out of the game. Right? So I think that's the little trickiest part of it is kind of knowing what to bid with, and the fact that most cards bid is what breaks the tie. So I think some people are going to just throw 3 cards out every time. Yeah, I want to go first. You're giving up 3 cards to grab 2, right? So you can play it wrong. So is it a family weight approach in approachableness? In a lot of ways, yes. But I think that you might get a little bit trapped if you don't play it a little more strategically.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so where are you coming down on it?
Score-wise, I like this package overall. It's the box size, this is one of 6 games in a whole brand new line from this publisher, Gamehead, and I like this one. We've played several of them so far. This is kind of like in the middle of the pack complexity wise, but approachability wise. So I like that. I'm giving this one a score of a 7. I think it's a nice game. I like clever ways of doing auctions. It doesn't outstay its welcome, and there's a few of those little like finicky rules. Make sure to lay out the mice in turn order, and then fire them off. You don't necessarily have a reminder of which mouse you are, but I think people kind of assign themselves to one very naturally. Yeah. Oh, that purple old mouse, yeah. So I think it works without. Wouldn't have minded a few things like that being a little bit better, but it's a 7. I'm recommending it. I like it.
I'm coming a bit higher at 7.5. I think I do like this a lot. I also like, again, I said many decisions like, I'm not great at counting cards, know how many are left. However, I know if someone's using a certain thing to bid, they're no longer going after buttons.
Right.
So then that going forward in the rounds. I think that really helps. I like the surprises at the end to see what sets they've gotten and how many of those they've gotten. I like the numbers on the sets. That's always very interesting to me because like there's one I think that has like, it goes up and then like at 4 it's like 0. And then it keeps going up again.
Right, but you can really zoot up if you...
Yes.
Yeah, the riskier cards. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I like that. And the theme is cute. I mean, it could easily be something like Star Wars Jawas or something like that, trading back and forth. But it really works as a very rules-light game, but I think it has some great elements to it. So 7.5 for me. Very cool. That is Trinket Trove. And as Chris says, it's adorable.
Mm-hmm. Lots of doors.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us for that video. If you haven't yet, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, make sure you check out what's happening where I'll cover an app on an iOS or a Switch device, and you can check it out along with me. Thanks very much. You've been watching The Dice Tower.